Hello and welcome to the first module of the Blockchain Education Network's course on blockchain. In this module, we're going to be talking about the history of Bitcoin from gold to digital gold. This module was created by Evan Howard, and I am your narrator, Brad Michaelakis, a member of the Blockchain Education Network. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the history of money, the origins of digital currency, and the players involved in its inception. First, we are going to talk about the history of currency, taking a look at the world's journey from gold to what is known as fiat currency. Under the gold standard, all currency was either gold or represented gold. This meant that the amount of money in circulation had to be physically backed by real gold. The Bretton Woods Agreement represented a fundamental shift in the way currency was represented and exchanged. In 1944, near the end of the Second World War, 44 countries came together to determine global fiscal policy. For more on this, please see the attached video. The Bretton Woods Agreement essentially tied the value of gold to the US dollar, which in turn tied global currency to the US dollar. In 1973, the agreement was dissolved, which ushered in a new era in which money was not directly backed by solid gold, beginning fiat currency. Fiat currency is legal tender as determined by a government. The value of this currency is determined by supply and demand as opposed to a commodity or material that the money is made of, such as with the gold standard. This is why you may hear a statement like, "The yen is strong against the US dollar this week." Depending on political, social, and economic situations in a country, that country's currency can fluctuate. Most, if not all, currencies are still compared against the US dollar. Part 2. Hashcash and digital currency. So to understand hashcash, we have to discuss the term proof of work. Proof of work is basically an algorithm that is used to verify the authenticity of a person trying to access a network. So to make an analogy for what proof of work is, say that you're being audited by the IRS. In this scenario, you have to produce receipts as your proof of work, or the proof that you earned income and purchased certain items. And if the receipts match your item and all of your receipts together match your reported income, then you have validated your personal finances to the IRS. In other words, you have shown proof of work. Hashcash was one of the first proof of work algorithms to be used widely. It was created in 1997 by Adam Back as a mass email spam filter. In this scenario, it was easy to show proof of work for one email in order to verify that it was sent by a person as opposed to just a computer, but more difficult to verify mass emails and re-emailer programs. But Hashcash was extremely widely used by such companies as Microsoft, Hotmail, and Outlook. Hashcash was also used in an early attempt at proof-of-work currency called RPOW, which was developed by Hal Finney, which was basically an early ideation of the first type of digital currency. Hashcash is important in the history of Bitcoin because the proof of work that it offered was used to generate blocks in the chain for Bitcoin. This topic of the blockchain and the way blocks work will be discussed in more detail in the second module. But basically what happens is that a Bitcoin miner must complete a proof of work that covers all the data in a block. A Bitcoin miner must complete a proof of work that covers all the data in a block in order to generate Bitcoin. Now there are a limited number of blocks and Bitcoins generated, therefore it is unpredictable as to which worker computer in the network will generate the next block. The proof of work offered by Hashcash allows for the existence of digital currency. And as you can see on this slide, there are many different names to refer to the term digital currency. Now, not all digital currencies are the same. For example, virtual currency is a type of digital currency whose value is accepted by members of a specific virtual community. For example, like using gold in Clash of Clans or riot points in League of Legends. Cryptocurrencies, on the other hand, are digital representations of certain values such as the US dollar, but could also be something like land or livestock or really anything. The most common type of cryptocurrency is Bitcoin, which holds a US dollar value, but there are hundreds of other types of cryptocurrencies, which are referred to as altcoins. And altcoins is a topic that is explored in a later module. Now we will discuss the original founder and first pioneer of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, and Hal Finney. And here's just a nice little quote about leadership which applies to them. So no one really knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, or if he even is a single person, but the Bitcoin white paper was published under his alias in 2008. The publishing of this paper represented the inception of Bitcoin. The software for mining or discovering Bitcoin that I referred to earlier was released in October 2009, and Satoshi Nakamoto then made the first transaction of Bitcoin to Hal Finney later that year. Many people in the Bitcoin community consider the anonymity of Satoshi Nakamoto to be an underlying principle of the transparent, decentralized network that is Bitcoin. Andreas Antonopoulos is considered one of the premier experts on Bitcoin technology, and he states, "Identity and authority are distractions from a system of mathematical proof that does not require trust. This is not a telenovela. Bitcoin is a neutral framework of trust that can bring financial empowerment to billions of people. It works because it doesn't depend on any authority, not even Satoshi's." Andreas Antonopoulos believes that Bitcoin works because it is a mutually beneficial system of consensus. Therefore, the creator or inventor is unimportant. If the creator or inventor had control over the system, this would go against the fundamental principles of Bitcoin itself. Hal Finney was another major player in the conception of Bitcoin. He was a developer and programmer who expressed early interest in cryptography and was passionate about the possibilities that he believed a decentralized currency would unlock. His early work consisted of cryptography, and he was one of the key developers at the PGP Corporation, which allowed users to communicate securely. The applications he worked on became a base for email. He made an attempt to create a proof-of-work currency using Hashcash called RPow, which I mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with ALS in 2009 and passed away in 2014 at the age of 58. Thank you guys for watching, and thanks to Evan for creating this module that I just narrated. If you have any questions, you can DM me. I'm Bradley Michaelakis, or Evan on Slack. Thank you so much.